Metro on 1019 WDET FM. I'm Tia Graham. Now, while the arts and humanities are facing defunding and disinvestment nationally, there's a brand new space to experience the arts in Detroit's Live 6 neighborhood. The University of Detroit Mercy is debuting a brand new black box theater next month with a production of Shakespeare's Twelfth Night. It is the university's first permanent theater on that campus, despite 150 years of theater productions. Joining me now in studio to discuss the Detroit Mercy Black Box Theater is Jocelyn Boryczka. She is the Dean of the College of Humanities, Arts, and Social Science at the University of Detroit Mercy. Jocelyn, welcome to the Metro.
Thank you so much, Tia. Great to be here.
I'd love to have you. I love having you here right now because a new Black Box Theater at U of D Mercy campus, 150 years in the making. Talk about it.
It's amazing, right? So just as you said, at times when we are seeing theater programs being closed, challenges in arts and culture, not only around our area, but around the country, the University of Detroit Mercy has decided to lean in to its tradition and its celebration of arts and culture and to bring this amazing Black Box Theater not only to our campus, but to our campus as part of our neighborhood. It really is a representation of 150 years of our university's commitment to the city of Detroit as the only university with Detroit in its name. I just got to say,
okay,
we're proud of that. We're proud of that. And that we've always stayed in the city. The fact that we're celebrating that 150 years next year. And the fact that in the theater program, they have been doing performances since 1878. So that speaks to that absolute commitment that we have to sustaining arts and culture.
Where were they taking place? Were you doing satellite performances in other spaces across the city for all that time?
Wow. So it is amazing, the tenacity, the resilience, the grit we know that Detroit has. And so performances have occurred at various locations, not only on our current McNichols campus, but also before that in other spaces. But we on our McNichols campus have been in our architecture school. We were in the library. Most recently, we had a great partnership down at the Bowles Theater at the YMCA. And it was an incredible experience, but it was still a little ways away from our campus. It was a little challenging for folks to have to build sets, break them down, put them in the U-Haul, take them downtown, and all that goes with it. We loved being downtown. We were able to reach an audience that is in the downtown area, made it a little bit more difficult for the folks on our campus. So we're excited to bring this back to our first permanent home on our campus.
It's amazing to think about. And can you describe this new theater for us, for someone who's never been in a black box theater? Because oftentimes we hear that word, black box theater, black. What does it mean?
Right on. So one of the best things about it is on the ground level of our student union, which is the perfect place because you don't want windows. Yeah. You literally want a space that is black because it is the creation of that space that occurs. So we think of black box spaces as smaller innovation labs. So we have physics labs, we have biology labs. Now we have our theater lab. And in those spaces, you can experiment, you can transform, you can innovate. You can really take some chances. And we are able to do that in that space with, it seats about 109 in a standard setting. We can probably get maybe 140 in there if it's tight, and we can do all kinds of events because you can move around the seating so you can set up for a variety of different kinds of shows. So not only are we going to be doing theater and production, we have students, they'll be able to do spoken word art there. We can have fashion shows. We can allow the creativity to go.
I'm getting super excited about it because I love the way that you described it as a theater for lab or a lab theater, which a lot of us don't think about creatives in that way of being in a space or a lab, quote unquote, to work and to perfect and hone their skills. When we talk about something like this, what goes into bringing a black box to a university?
It is really an amazing process that occurs. long before I became dean at the College of Humanities, Arts, and Social Sciences, this was a dream. This was a dream of our alums, our faculty, our students, our administration. Everybody wanted this to happen. But as we know, oftentimes resources can be difficult to come by. And we were able to get an anonymous gift, which was very generous. And that was a lead gift that allowed us to then start building out other gifts from amazing people from around our community who contributed. And together, all of those resources allow a dream to become a reality. But the dream has got to be there. The excellence of our program, I have to say, when I first arrived at Detroit Mercy, and I learned that our theater company was winning Kennedy Center Awards year after year, often as the only university without a permanent theater on its campus. I said, wow, folks are doing so much with so little. We can get behind that. And let's get them a permanent space where our students and our community can call theater home at the McNichols campus of Detroit Mercy.
For, just for those trying to understand what something like that is, I mean, it's like being on a basketball team with no gym or no court to practice on. Mm-hmm. It's an absolute amazing thing to know that they were winning awards at such high levels with no space to call home. And an amazing feat. Of course, Detroiters will hustle harder. That's what happens.
That's right.
You're listening to the Metro on WDET, Detroit Public Radio. And if you're just joining us, my guest is Jocelyn Boryczka. She is the Dean of the College of Humanities, Arts, and Social Science at University of Detroit Mercy. And after 150 years of theater, the university just completed its first ever permanent theater on the Live 6 campus. The Detroit Mercy Black Box Theater's first production will be Shakespeare, Twelfth Night. Now, we can talk all about that. We're going to get into the 12th night, but I do want to talk about the Black Box Theater and its benefits to those who live within the surrounding neighborhoods. Because like you were saying, those who were at Detroit Mercy necessarily couldn't make it downtown all the time. So let's talk about the love that you're giving back to that community.
Absolutely. And that is part of our ethos at the University of Detroit Mercy. We are committed to the community, and our community is committed to us. So when we're bringing this theater back to the Live 6 community, there's not a similar theater like that in any of the 5 neighborhoods that make up the Live 6 Alliance. We do have a larger theater at Marygrove, which is close by. But like I mentioned to you, having that theater in your neighborhood where you can go to Detroit Pizza Bar and then go catch a show. You're over in Green Acres or you're in the Fitzgerald neighborhood and you just want to walk on over, catch a show, see the students, awesome. But here's one thing that I think we're uniquely engaged in. We have a university community council at Detroit Mercy that is made up of representatives from our university. I happen to sit on the council along with many others, and the representatives of our neighborhoods. So those folks came to the ribbon cutting. We invited the presidents of the block clubs and neighborhood associations. Come on down, enjoy with us. They were also part of visioning sessions that we held as we started to imagine what the Black Box Theater would be. We look forward to partnering with those community members as we start building out how does the community want to express itself through arts and culture in this Black Box space. What are the things we want to bring to our campus? Like a summer theater workshop for the youth in our neighborhoods, and responding to that need, but really spreading that arts and culture we know is at the heart of our Detroiters and allowing them for that expression, and then giving the youth the place where they can really push those boundaries and experience, enjoy, and imagine their futures.
And just listening to you, and we recently just had Suma on as well from Inside Out Literary Arts, and she is also talking about a move, but being in a space or a community that is going to wrap their arms around the Black Box, like you're talking about with Live 6. How will you make sure that community alignment is a reality, especially when we talk about the next few years? Because right now it's very early on, very new. But as time goes on, as we see the expansion of arts and culture within Live 6, which we continue to see, how do you see you're all positioning yourself to facilitate the growth of productions in Detroit?
I think the great benefit we have is Detroit Mercy has been in partnership with the city of Detroit since its inception. So folks know that we are here. And we are interested in building those deep, deep relationships that last beyond the moment into a lifetime and well into our futures. We are going to continue practices that we've had, including the University Community Council, which is a really important element of this. But then with the theater itself, we will have members of the local community on our advisory boards for this group so that we can hear from our neighbors. What kinds of things are you interested in? What would you like to do? How can we partner with you to make this happen? And is it things that we want to happen in the Black Box Theater? Is it things we want to grow from there that will be on our campus where we need a larger space? I can imagine the DSO in the summer coming and playing some tunes. I can imagine all kinds of other artists that are in our neighborhood having that space from the Black Box out to our community. And then we've also gone to the home base, which is the home base for the Live 6 Alliance, and we've done scripted readings in their space. So us going into the community doing theater, the community coming to us and doing theater, but doing all of those innovative, creative, artistic, cultural things that we want to see in Detroit.
I love it. I love it. And just moving towards the actual production, the first production. Let's talk about 12th Night, directed by Wayne State alum and current U of D professor Sarah Hawkins Rusk. The play is an updated adaptation of Shakespeare's 12th Night. I think one of my favorite things about it is the story itself, because you have two siblings who are shipwrecked. The woman, Viola, decides to dress up as a man so she can, get along in the world and society, falls in love with a man who's in love with another woman, and that woman's in love with her in disguise. Mm-hmm. I think it's the best twist of stories I've ever heard. So how did you all come to choose 12th Night as the first ever production at the new Black Box Theater? It sounds so good.
It really is, right? So Shakespeare's universal. Shakespeare, and this Shakespeare is fun. We've got music, we've got comedy, we've got a love triangle,
drama,
mistaken identity, all of these incredible things that are happening. So our theater company usually starts deciding on its productions 18 months out. So we were thinking about this a year and a half ago. And one of the things we wanted to do, we love having classics like a Shakespeare that you are moving into the contemporary world and playing with it. So the adaptation is only 90 minutes. It is by Mark Palmieri. We are thrilled that Sarah Rusk is able to direct for us. But she wanted, and the company wanted, a script that would also allow for more of an ensemble cast. Mm-hmm. So we could feature a number of our students, amazing alumni, faculty, and we have a couple secret, guest professional actors that are going to join us as well. So, come for some surprises, but we're really excited because a production like this allows us to involve more of our students. And that's really at the heart of what we do in our student-based productions. We want them to get that experience and also the experience of being with professional actors on the stage and really celebrating this moment. We all know Shakespeare also has universal themes, and this particular production almost celebrates like that celebration of a little bit of chaos, right? Mm. And the way in which chaos can break open moments of democracy and engagement and, pushing the boundaries. It also gives us a place to chill, right? Enjoy, laugh, and have a good time.
This sounds like such an amazing night of a show with a 12th Night by Shakespeare. I mean, honestly, really, really good. How does this space benefit students who aren't taking theater classes? Can we talk about those intersections that you all come to find, especially when you're working in production and theater?
Absolutely. And we see this theater as providing a space where students from across our campus, and they already do, we have biology students who help in our ticket office, we have architecture students who come and usher, but now it's on our campus. So that makes it really easy. I've heard from our managing director, we already have students from across campus who are asking, can I work? Can I volunteer? Can I do this? Because they want to be involved, because we all know theater is a community space and they are owning it. the fact that it's in their student union, where their friends are at, and it is their space. It is our community space. So not only do we have students who can come and work with us in our ticket office, but our students in theater and communication studies and other majors, they can come and they can learn things about set design. They can learn about the technology, the lighting design. They can learn how to run the front of the house. They can learn the skills they need to do podcasting, TikToking, all of the amazing things that we do through social media. They can learn those skills. And it is an incredible opportunity. But not only that, this becomes a space where our students, their student organizations, our sororities and fraternities, they can come, they can do step shows, they can do spoken word, they can have fashion shows, they can do all acoustic night, poetry readings, you name it. We've already had improv and poetry readings in the space.
Love improv.
Right?
Oh, man. In the last 30 seconds that we do have, for people who usually don't go to see stage productions, why should they try something new and go see 12th Night?
They should come to be with us in a space of community, of a moment of joy and celebration, of a shared experience where they get to be part of the transformation that happens to every single one of us when we see that live production, because that is the human-to-human contact. And those relationships that you build in the audience with each other, but also with those who are on stage and everyone around you, that is what we are calling for right now. That is at the heart of coming to see a live production where you are connecting together, you are having conversation, but you are also having celebration of the rich diversity of human life and all the talents and gifts that we bring to one another every day.
Beautiful. Jocelyn Boryczka is the Dean of the College of Humanities, Arts, and Social Science at the University of Detroit Mercy. After 150 years of theater, the university has built its first ever permanent theater on the Live 6 campus. The Detroit Mercy Black Box Theater's first production will be Shakespeare's 12th Night, with performances November 7th through November 16th. Tickets and times are available at udmercy.edu. Jocelyn, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. It was wonderful.
Coming up, Detroit musician and WDET host Don Was has a new band and a new album. NPR reporter Don Gagné strode through the city to talk about music, legacy, and the future for Don Was. You all stay right there. This is The Metro.